it's Liz from Old Stables Craft, and I'm going to try and remember to say independent Stampin' Up demonstrator more often, because I'm not sure that everybody realises that I am. This is the card we're making today. It's just a cute little Happy Easter card. It's not going to be long before Easter is upon us, and if you, like me, send out more than one Easter card, I don't do quite as many as I do for Christmas, but I do try and send Easter cards to a few people who I know will appreciate them. One needs to get ahead. So this is using items from my February craft box, and one of the optional add-ons, which is the You're Inspiring stamp set. This is really pretty. It's great for spring. It's in the new spring summer catalogue. It's great for spring. It's got Easter, it's got birthday, it's got Mother's Day. For me that should be Mothering Sunday, but hey, that's because I'm a traditionalist. But it's also got kind thoughts for you. You're inspiring. So yeah, it's a really pretty set. If you're Welsh, St David's Day, just saying. Anyway, so this is using Old Olive with the double stitched ribbon, which is in the kit. Obviously Daffodil Delight, and then stamping. And I've used the stamping blends for the colouring. I used 5 colours. So I used both of the Daffodil Delights, both of the Old Olives, and then the light Calypso Coral. This time I've actually pre-stamped, but I will do the stamping again. And I've used the watercolour markers and a blender pen. The reason I've done it in advance is because A, it takes a while to do, and frankly I'm sure you've got better things to do than watch me colouring in. But also, if you are using the basic black, the archival, which is what you should use for the blender pen, you do need to let the ink dry fully before you go in and colour, otherwise it will smudge a bit and you'll get a sort of grey look. Now obviously you could use the basic grey if you wanted a softer outline, but all I've done is squish, as in twist. Can you see? I can never tell. Yes, you can. Twist, tap, so you're nicely inked up, then straight down, even pressure, straight up, and there you go. Really quick, really simple. Just try to go straight down and straight up, and not what I did in my last video, which was smudge. So there we go. Just cleaning that off, because the archival inks do have a tendency to stain even on the red rubber. They will stain on photopolymer, but they're still fine. But I do like to sort that out sooner rather than later. So you stamp, you colour in. Now if you're using blends, don't use the archival, use Memento. Otherwise the blends will definitely smudge the blends. But for watercolour pencils, archival black, and the blender pen is fine. And if you're using Stampin' Write markers, I would use the archival black as well. So let's get on with the background. I've just got a piece of scrap paper here and another piece of Daffodil Delight. This is cut to my usual first layer, which is 5 5/8 by 3 7/8. Measurements over on my blog, link below. So I've got the Daffodil Delight ink, and the stamp I'm using is this little one here, which is sort of bubbles. Let me see if I can get that up so you can see it. These funny little bubbles. So all I'm going to do is bring everything down a bit so you can see it, is just stamp all over the background. I don't need to do the very middle because that's going to be covered up with one of our delicate doilies. But everything else I need to, let's think, I need to come down to about there probably. And don't worry if it's not the most beautiful stamping in the world or if it overlaps. They are just forming a background. It's not the end of the world. So this is really easy, really just go for it stamping. But do come off the edge of your cardstock. It looks very much more mint if you've got everything coming to the edge, otherwise it just looks a bit odd. And while I am stamping, I am going to do the sentiment, and I've just got a scrap of Whisper White for that. I don't need the scrap of paper now. And I've got the Happy Easter sentiment, and I'm just going to ink that up in Old Olive and stamp. It doesn't matter whether it's straight because I'm going to punch it out. So pop those to one side, I can clean those later. So let's, whilst I'm doing this bit, I'm going to come as far over as I can on the right hand side, and it's an interesting one to line up because it kind of feels slightly off center, off true. So there or thereabouts is kind of what you're looking for. And take that away, and then I flagged the end just by feeding it back into the punch and catching that little corner edge there and just punching. So really easy. So that's that. Right, okay, let's get this together because this is actually quite a quick card. I've got one of our delicate doilies, which I am going to cut in half. Oh, did I say I cut out my stamped image using the largest of the layering ovals framelets, the straight, largest of the straight ones, which makes a perfect little framed image. So I'm just going to cut this in half, and I'm cutting it in half with one of the small bits at the top, and then I'm just going to cut that off. I just found that otherwise there was a possibility that the top and bottom of the oval would sneak out, and we don't want things sneaking out. So let's get rid of those. Right, so these are going to go across the middle here, and it just means I can split it because I need it slightly wider than the doily is. So I'm just going to run a piece of fast fuse down. And I don't want the doily to touch the fast fuse until I'm happy with where it is, because the doilies will rip if you pull them up again, so do be careful. And there we go. So that's our doily attached. Then for the ribbon, this time I'm going to put the whole card on Night of Navy. So I've got a piece of the Night of Navy gingham ribbon, rather than the Daffodil Delight double stitched. Take the bit of tape off the back, and then all I'm going to do is, oh look, there's the one I got wrong earlier. Run some fast fuse down the back of my stamped image, and then just zigzag my ribbon across the back. So we've got a loop each side and a ribbon each side. Just check that it's about right, which it is, and then just trim your end away, and then add some more fast fuse top and bottom, and pop that in the middle. So that's that. Then let's pop that onto our card base. Now this is a piece of A4 cut in half and scored down the middle. And what I am looking for is my bone folder, which was hiding behind the punch. And then that's just going to pop on there. I haven't used it for a while, so I'm going to use it now. Good old Tombow, because I do like Tombow. Tombow is great when you're sticking card to card. It's not so great if you're sticking paper to card, because it may buckle the paper, and that applies for the Whisper White and the very vanilla, the smooth versions rather than the thick versions. But if you're doing card to card, it is great. Apart from anything else, it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. So pop the lid on there. Now find my Happy Easter and some dimensionals, and all I want is a little edge bit. Pop that on the back, and then, whoops, don't need the backing, thank you. And then this is just going to pop there, and then one of our faceted gems just on the end. And there we go. Now obviously when you're sending this you will need to put a liner in, but otherwise, oops, let's bring those down a bit so you can see them. That's it. Quick, simple, easy, really pretty. I love the look of these doilies. I don't use them enough. I'm going to resolve that one. I'm going to use them more. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Now, what's that friend of mine say? She says, subscribe, like, comment. So if you don't already subscribe, hit the subscribe button, which has been down in the bottom right hand corner the whole way through this video. Like it, and then leave a comment. I will get back to you if you leave a comment. I sometimes take 2 or 3 days to do that, but I will get back to you. If you need any of the supplies, please hop over to my online store. There's a link to that below. You'll find the link to the associated blog post and then a link to my social media. And in that link, you'll get links to my blog, to my online store, to Pinterest, to Instagram, Facebook, all those good things. So yeah, just follow that link. And if you would like the craft box and you're in the UK, just drop me an email. Details are over on my blog. Drop me an email and I can get that sorted out for you. The deadline for booking that is the 7th of February, so you've got a wee while. So yeah, I hope to see you very soon. Thanks a lot for watching.